There's no guy to actually do a song from the last episode because the last episode has been about the Caribbean, and technically the next episode should have been about China. So we just go on a blank slate, and it appears to be in Uzbekistan. I wonder what time period. Yo, comrade, what are you doing out here? First of all, most of our African comrades are in Moscow, not in faraway places like Uzbekistan. And this is the 1980s though, so they're a bit at to choose. But why are you out here? Oh boy, right? 1980s, Uzbekistan, barking dog. I could manage this. I could handle this. It is not bad. I am teacher here to teach the history of Uzbekistan to the children and their economic stuff. Da. Oh, you're the new teacher from Namibia. Again with the Namibia guys, come on. But yes, I am here to teach the children about Uzbek history. Please do not kill me, comrade. I suppose we can I suppose you can teach the children the State Doctrine USSR Manual of History, signed by Vladimir Lenin himself, you know. Yes. Now take me to the anti-religious mosque school. No, it's Uzbekistan in the 80s. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what I don't know why I'm in this country for. The teleporter is just random, and we have to deal with that. So please take me to anti-religious school. Da. This guy is cool. I like this guy. But you must say Allah, thank you, Allah, you're welcome. Because it's still very religious place, you know. Just, we don't, state atheism is law, but if you want to be Muslim, you can be Muslim, of course, because Muslims cool. Why do you say it like that? I don't know, it's just the 1980s for some reason, and there's a country next door to Uzbekistan that has a population of mostly Orthodox conservative Muslims that we are obviously battling. So why should I have problem with Muslim? They took my brother in 1984, but that is all part of Soviet progress, my friend. That's all part of it. Anyway, to school. Yes, so after that, this interesting monologue, we go to the Uzbek Socialist Soviet Republic. And the USSR inside the USSR. And cue the start point, I guess. Very bad improv, time traveling, destination over. We now look at the USSR, the Uzbek Socialist Republic, what it really was, what it really is, and what it is today. And see along the way how it changed from 1924 in the bloody October Revolution to 1991 and their Tajik is the one with the civil war, and their 1991 breakaway situation. Anyway, let's talk about the Uzbek Soviet Socialist Republic. The name Uzbek literally means home of the free, taken from the amalgamation of Uz, which is Turkic for self, Bek, which is Turkic for master. It is known that Bey has become modern Turkish for master, and Stan, which is Persian for land of. So land of the self-master or land of the free. However, the official name of the republic was the Uzbek Soviet Socialist Republic, as defined by its 1937 and 1978 constitutions, respectively. Now, so in 1924, the borders of the political units of Central Asia were changed along the ethnic lines determined by Vladimir Lenin's Commissar of Nationalities, Joseph Stalin. Oh yeah, that guy. The Turkestan ASSR and the Bukhara People's Soviet Republic and the Khorasan People's Soviet Republic were abolished, and their territories were divided into eventually the 5 separate Soviet Socialist Republics, one of which were the Uzbek Soviet Socialist Republic, created on the 24th of October 1924. The next year, Uzbekistan became one of the republics of the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or the USSR, or the Soviet Union. In 1928, the collectivization of land into state forms were initiated, which lasted until the late 1930s. Uzbekistan actually included the Tajik ASSR until 1929, when the Tajik ASSR was upgraded to the equal status of, well, a republic. In 1930, the Uzbek SSR capital was relocated from Samarkand to Tashkent, which remains the capital to this day. In 1936, the Uzbeks were enlarged into the addition of the Karalakpak ASSR, taken from the Kazakh SSR, in the last stages of the national demarcation and delimitations of the Soviet Union. So, after this part, there's no more changing of little townships and borders into one amalgamation. So, yeah. And that is probably why there's a lot of trouble in the Central Asia, but I digress. Anyway, the same year in December, it was renamed to the Uzbek Soviet Socialist Republic. Further bits of pieces of territory were transferred several times between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan after the Second World War. Now, from 1937 to 1938, during the Great Purge, a number of alleged nationalists were executed, including Farazullah Kojava, which was the first prime minister of the USSR, not the USSR, but the Uzbek SSR. So during the Second World War, many industries were relocated to Uzbekistan from vulnerable locations in the western region of the Eastern Front of the USSR to keep them, well, pretty much safe. Large numbers of Russians, Ukrainians, and other white majority nationalities or Slavic white passing, you know the terms of the modern era, were accompanying in these factories, altering the demographics of the republic. The demographic situation was further exacerbated and aggravated by Stalin's forced deportations of some ethnic groups suspected of collaboration with the Axis powers or being sympathetic to, well, Nazi Germany and the SS legions of stuff like the Cossacks, the Muslim battalions, stuff like that, from other parts of the Soviet Union to Uzbekistan. This thus created a large number of ethnic Koreans, Crimean Tatars, and even Chechens living in, well, Central Asia, which was not demographically not that distinct, but at the same time very distinct, as the weather of Chechnya is not the weather of Uzbekistan. The culture of Koreans were not the culture of so on and so forth and so on. Also during the Soviet period, Islam became a focal point of anti-religious drives in communist authorities and communist areas. The government closed most of the mosques and religious schools became anti-religious museums. On the positive side, there was a virtual elimination of illiteracy in the rural areas. Only a small percentage of the population was literate before 1917. This percentage increased nearly 100% under the Soviets, all the way up until 1980, where about 89.9% of the population could read. I mean, we're talking about like nomads, like people that are like so far gone from society, not in that kind of way, but people that are nomadic, people don't, like the Berbers of North Africa, or the North Africa, yeah. So the real deal nomads. Anyway. So another major development, one with future catastrophic impact, was the drive initiated in the early 1960s to subsequently increase cotton production in the Republic. This drive led to the overzealous irrigation withdrawals of irrigation water from the Alamu Darya and subsequent ROC ecological disaster which would follow. Towards the end of the Soviet-Afghan War, several troops crossed the Uzbek border from Afghanistan as part of the towards the end of the Soviet-Afghan War, several troops crossed the Uzbek border from Afghanistan as part of the Soviet withdrawal on the 15th of February 1989. During the war, the Afghan Mujahideen, sponsored by the US CIA or Central Intelligence Agency, and the Pakistani Inter-Service Intelligence, or the ISI, also crossed the border to commit some sabotage operations, and it was said that the British did so as well, but SAS, but the first secretary, or the head of, the Communist Party of Uzbekistan was constantly an Uzbek though. Longtime leader of the Uzbek SSR was Sharof Razidov, head of the Communist Party of Uzbekistan from 1959 until 1983. Ismail Kamenov, leader of the Communist Party of Uzbekistan until 1989, and subsequently head of the party's reincarnation as the People's Democratic Party, or the PDP, becoming the president of the Uzbek SSR in 1990. On the 20th of June 1990, the Supreme Soviet adopted the Declaration of State Sovereignty of the Uzbek SSR, which took over the laws of the Soviet Union days after the Russian SFSR adopted their own constitution of the Supreme Soviet. So the Uzbek SSR participated in the referendum in March 1991 as part of the proposed Union of Soviet Sovereign States. This never came to pass after the unsuccessful coup attempt events between the 19th and the 21st of August 1991 in Moscow. In the aftermath, the Uzbek SSR was renamed to the Republic of Uzbekistan and declared its independence on the 30th of August 1991, formerly remaining part of the USSR, or the Soviet Union, until the 26th of December. With the final collapse of the Soviet Union, the Uzbek SSR became the independent nation of Uzbekistan, although the 1978 constitution remained in use. The referendum was confirmed on the 29th of December 1991, which is actually an interesting loophole because for 20 whole days, there were literally the sovereign last remnants of the actual USSR, and not the Uzbek SSR, but the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. It was literally the USSR for a couple of days. Alright, it's time to talk about politics. So, Uzbekistan, akin to the rest of the Soviet Union, was defined by a single-party socialist republic framework, whereby the first secretary of the Central Committee was the head of the party, the chairman of the Presidium was the Supreme Soviet at the head of the state, and the chairman of the Council of Ministers served as the head of government in a one-party system led by the CPSU, or the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, Republican branch, the Communist Party of Uzbekistan. The executive power was exercised by the government and the legislative power was vested by the Supreme Soviet, where it met for the sessions in Tashkent. Now, an interesting part of this one was the military. I've honestly haven't seen this, but I guess in correlation with the Afghan-Soviet War, Uzbekistan was actually the strongest Soviet armed forces present in the Central Asian republics and was the strongest of the other Central Asian republics. Almost all of its troops were personnel of the Turkestan Military District, or the Turk-VO, which was based in Tashkent. Personnel from the Turk-VO were distributed between the militaries of Uzbekistan as well as the militaries of the other four Central Asian republics, as I will try to butcher them now, when it was dissolved in June 1992. Alright, so Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan with Uzbekistan. Right? Well, close enough. So at independence, ethnic Russians filled the ranks of the newly created armed forces and made up most of the officer corps and the general staff. The Uzbek SSR was actually kind of lucky as it operated its own domestic military internal affairs, or the MVD, independence of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the Soviet Union, of which was the Republican-affiliated organization of the MVD. Now, the economy. The economy was actually kind of interesting. Uzbek had an industrial sector including electric power generation, energy, and chemical production. Uzbekistan energy came from longer thermal power plants, including the Sharadarya, Aragin, Tashkent plant, and the others. as well as the hydroelectric components of the economy, including the Charavak, the Holdakindaratskaya, the Gazakent or the Gazalkent, and the Farakhad hydroelectric plants, among others. Yeah, the Farakhad, the Farakhad. No Faraks given, dude. So the natural gas industry was important to the economy of the republic. The Gazelle distribution, the Gazelle deposits, and the other Kashdarakarya or the Makabara Shatana area. So the natural gas industry was important to the economy of the republic. The Gazelle deposits and the other Kashdarakarya or the Mukarabar Shortan areas contributed to the industry as well. Uzbekistan also produced oil, which was the Faragan Valley and the Borakhar and the Shukhandarar region. In terms of minerals, there were also the production of lint, copper, zinc, lead, Tuscan, molybdenum, copper ores found in the Karama Zarak Sayak group of the deposits, and even some gold found in Navara region, Jizaraka region, and other regions as well. These words are so Russian yet so freaking Turkish, and it's like the amalgamation of Russian, Turkish, and freaking Uzbek. So chemical manufacturing, which was kind of interesting, includes the production of mineral fertilizers like nitrogen and phosphorus for cotton in Karakakik, Kokand, Samarkand, Faragan, the Alamaka, and Novoyoy. The manufacturers of chemical fibers of the Faragana, plastics of the Faragana and the Namargaran, rubber production, household chemicals, and more. Petrochemicals, chemicals, and pharmaceutical chemicals, and the microbiological industries were all present in all forms in Uzbekistan. Some of the engineering sector included the agricultural of machinery in the mechanization of cotton cultivation or harvesting, and cotton harvesters, etc. Production of tractors, equipment for the cotton and textile industry, construction and road machines, electrical engineering, aviation, electrical and electronics, and instrument making, and chemicals and petrol engineering were also part of the Uzbek economy. Some companies also produce cement, asbestos, cement pipes, slates or slats, and even ceramics. Asbestos? Okay. Now, some of the light industry present in Uzbekistan, including the primary processing of cotton, silk, cocoons, wood, wool, fiber crops, rawhides, and even the cacao pelts. Cotton and silk textiles, footwear, garments, and even carpets were all products of Uzbekistan. The food industry produced oil and fat, many oil products from cotton seeds, tinned vegetables, butter and cheese, milk, and meat. Now, it's kind of interesting. The subdivisions which would split apart, join, stuff like that. So on the 27th of October 1924, creation of the Uzbek Soviet Socialist Republic. On the 15th of October 1929, the Tajik Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic and the regions around the Kanaja Kodakent split off to become the Tajik Soviet Socialist Republic. Karalaplak Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic joins the Uzbek SSR. On the 16th of February 1963, the Shah Dara Oblast, centered in Golestan, is formed. In 1973, the largest part of the Oblast territory was transferred to the newly Dastakhan Oblast. On the 29th of December 1973, the Dastakhan Oblast split to form the Sharamakant Oblast. The Diskant is formed. The Novoyoy Oblast split into the Burkhahar Oblast. On the 20th of April, the Aryu Novrast is formed. Oh my gosh. And it's just like a cultivation of stuff. So, It is a long squibbly line of stuff. Oh my gosh, what the hell is Uzbekistan really? I love Uzbekistan. What are these borders, dude? Allah! So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Very nice voice. A bit didn't know what I was going into, but I just want to keep you guys entertained while I work on the To the North, the Northern Expedition, which I now have to re-record because I was sounding a bit too fast. But we all learn, we all grow, and at least I know all the words now. So anyway, hopefully I can get that done in 20 minutes. Without even stuttering or start doing anything like that. Just read and just hope I'm not fast. But anyway, I will edit this walking down the road. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just like a little filler episode that I thought you might like. And I did bring the best of my ability to it. Really trying really hard. And I'll see you next time. For right now, my voice isn't too bad. 20 minutes of talk. Hopefully another 20 might not kill me. I would start at 5, probably go to 5:30, and then just check it, make sure, keep another 30. But anyway, I guess we time travel to the Uzbek SSR, and we do some political commentary, I guess. Anyway, without that, I say thank you. Have a nice day. Yes, I do record the beginning last because it is improv, so doesn't make sense to improv all of this way, and then this video is like 30 minutes long, and then all of this. Plus the editing is not like Adobe where I could just like where I could do it at the end and put it in the front, because then that is a whole nother can of worms I don't want to deal with. But it is the drawback of editing, scripting, copying, pasting, and doing everything on the phone. So at the end of the day, what is 3 minutes of an intro anyway, you know? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in Uzbekistan. And yes, there will be some groovy music to go with the Uzbek aesthetic. So it's not going to be all Muslim chants. You know me, I might be stereotypical, but I'm also experimental. Anyway, until next time, I hope to see you again. Allah! Uzbekistan. I'll see you later. I know this is not where Borat comes from, although I could make a joke about that when I do another SSR filler, or because I want to. Yeah, these are not like fillers, but I do find the SSRs kind of interesting. But yeah, Wikipedia read over. I'll see you next time. Be safe, boy, girl, NB, and catch you later.